Hello everyone, I'm Alistair, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys a little bit about the subculture of kayaking as a sport or as a hobby. Now, the reason I chose to talk about this is because, as you can see here, I've been kayaking since I was very little. And as you can see here, I still love it. And as for qualifications, I actually worked at a summer camp for a while where I was a lifeguard, and my entire job was to teach kids how to kayak, how to canoe, what the different parts of the boats were, and what the different parts of the paddle were. So that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys today. Let's just start with looking at the boat as a whole. Let's start with some of the basic parts that you probably immediately recognize the name of. Within the boat, there's a footrest. There are knee braces, which essentially just are padding for your knees. There's, of course, handles to move, and, of course, the paddles. Now, a little more specific is the stern and the bow. This is the front and the back of the boat. There's also the cockpit. This is where the seat is. This is where you are, much like a spaceship. Something that we also see in kayaks but don't see in canoes, for example, is a drain plug. As kayaks are usually hollow plastic, sometimes water can get inside and you need a way to drain it. Looking at the paddle, we can see the base itself is called the shaft. Here at the bottom, you can see this thing called a joint. That is, if you have a collapsible paddle, you will have two of these parts and you will join them together to create a full paddle. Now, going up from the shaft, we can see the drip ring. This essentially stops water from dripping off the head of the paddle onto your hands. Just beyond the drip ring is where we see the throat. This is what connects the shaft to the actual paddle itself. The throat goes up through the paddle, and this is called the spine, just a thicker part to make sure that it's not going to snap off. The edges of the paddle is what we call the blade, and the very end is what we call the tip. Looking at it from the side, you can see that there's a clear scoop. This is our power face. This is what you are going to be pushing against the water. This will be facing you as you drag yourself through the water. And then we have the back face, which is essentially the opposite, or the non-power face, as it says here. And with all that being said, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you have a better understanding of some of the kayaking lingo. Thank you so much. Goodbye.